In the last vlog I uploaded, maybe about 1 or 2 months ago, at the very end of that vlog, I had mentioned that my family was going through some personal things, so I wasn't too sure how often I would be uploading or what was coming next for the Beersy. And now that I've had a few months to kind of come to terms with what's happened and where we're at with the situation, I think it's a good time for me to come back and tell you guys kind of what's going on. And a few of you guys that are subscribed, thank you for subscribing, first of all, that are subscribed to me, do follow me on Instagram so you kind of know what's going on. But I've been getting a lot of texts and DMs about more of a bigger picture of what's happened, pretty much. So essentially what's happened is it's not something I ever pictured myself going through, and it's not something I ever wanted to go through, ever. I don't think anyone ever wants to go through this. Essentially what's happened is my little brother, he's 19 years old, uh, end of December, beginning of January, was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. It's a very hard sentence to say. um, I came home from lunch one day because my job is just right around the corner from my house, so I have the luxury of coming home for lunch. So I came home from lunch one day and noticed he was in a lot of pain. In a lot of pain in his room, and I kind of heard him, so I went in there and I just wanted to check on him and see what was going on. So I went in my brother's room, check on him, and basically what he told me was he was having some chest and shoulder pain. We initially thought maybe he just slept on it wrong or something like that, so Big Brother told him, hey, just ibuprofen, ice it, relax. Just, that's all you gotta do is try to relax. Okay, good to go. Fast forward to I'm about to leave the house to go back to work, and he's still in a lot of pain, and something's not right. So I go in there and I tell him, okay, you need to get up, I'm taking you to the ER. Something's not right with the situation. I don't have a good feeling about it, so I'm taking him to the hospital. Luckily, our mom works for a hospital, so I took him to the hospital, dropped him off with my mom, and I went back to work. About 2 or 3 hours later, I got a text from my little brother telling me that they found a mass the size of a mango on his lung. I didn't know what to do with that information. I don't think anyone would do. And when they initially found the mass, they didn't know if it was cancerous, if it wasn't cancerous, because they just did a scan on him, and that's what they found. So I'm hit with this news that my 19-year-old brother has a mass the size of a mango on his lung. And it's heartbreaking news. It's, not something I don't think anyone ever wants to hear, and I hope none of you guys ever have to go through it or hear those words come from, a doctor or someone you love, that someone you know and love has cancer. So fast forward maybe a week or two, doctors are calling him left and right. He's in and out of the hospital getting all these tests done, trying to figure out exactly what it is. Is it cancerous? Is it not cancerous? If it is cancerous, what type of cancer is it? Just he's in and out of the hospital dealing with doctors a lot. And it's heartbreaking because, my little brother he's my little brother. He's my world. I love him to death. I would do anything for the kid, and I would protect him from anything or anyone. But cancer is like the one thing, that I couldn't protect him from. I can't protect him from that. It comes for whoever it wants. That's just facts with cancer. And it doesn't run in our family either. That's the funny thing about it, because no one in our family's really ever had cancer. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things where there's no explanation for it, and there's no words for it. It's just a sad reality that I'm now living in. So fast forward maybe a week or two, he's in and out of the hospital, he's getting all these tests done, they're sticking needles in him, they're doing blood samples, they're doing all this stuff, and we finally figure out exactly what is going on and what the type of cancer is. And we find out it's a stage 3 lymphoma cancer. And they've estimated he's had it for maybe 6 months to a year. And getting that news that my brother has stage 3 cancer and he's had it for 6 months to a year is it just kind of put a lot of things into perspective. And hearing that news, I didn't feel the motivation. I didn't feel like sitting in front of a camera and trying to have fun with friends and working on the BRZ, which you guys can see is right there, and installing parts and all that. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. All I wanted to do was check on my brother, hang out with him, make sure he was okay, do whatever he needs me to do, take time off of work. Whatever he needs is what I want. I just wanted to be there for him. And, being out and about and installing stuff with my friends at first was very, it was a no-go for me. now that, we're a few months in and everything, and we're all kind of over the whole shock factor, and we're all just ready to fight it. We're fighting it pretty much at this point. I'll get into that, but now it's a little bit easier to kind of go out and do things because he's doing okay. But yeah, uh, it's a phrase I never thought would come out of my mouth. My baby brother has cancer. It's just, you know. Um, and it all sounds really bad, and I understand that. It sounds real morbid and everything. And the first vlog, I guess you could say, is going to be talking about this. And it's really bad news. There's really good news along with that. So, when he first met with the oncologist that was going to be taking care of everything, he walked into her office and she was very shocked. She was very shocked because, like I said, they've estimated he's had it for maybe 6 months to a year. So when he walked into that office, the oncologist was shocked because he doesn't look sick. He, had no signs of looking like he had cancer. He didn't look sick. He just looked like a normal 19-year-old kid. It was very, I guess, comforting to see that, even though it's stage 3 and he's had it for 6 to 12 months, that the doctor was basically saying, people at this stage and this look, sick, and he doesn't look sick. So that was, the first good news that we had received from this whole ordeal of cancer. And then we got really good news. The type of cancer he has, like I said, it's a lymphoma, and it's a stage 3 currently. The type of cancer it is, as as weird as it is to say, and as unfortunate as it is to say, the doctor basically sat us down and said, "Hey, listen, the type of cancer he has, unfortunately, if anyone was to get cancer, if you were to get cancer, if I were to get cancer, if anyone's to get cancer, the type of cancer he has is the one you would want." And that sounds really weird to say. Why would you want cancer? Well, the reason why is because that type of cancer, the lymphoma, it's part of the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma circle of cancer, I guess you could say. It's the most treatable, curable cancer there is. It's the most well-known research. This is all stuff we've been told, and we've done our research, and it's the most researched, well-known, treatable, curable cancer out there. And she hit us with probably the best news of this whole situation, and that is that my brother has a 93% survival rate. So it's really good. 93% is, that's a lot better than, what I was thinking, because how my mind works is when I get put into a situation, I try not to do it, but it's just kind of how my mind works. I start thinking of worst case scenario. Well, what does this mean? What's the worst case scenario? And you don't really want to think like that when you're hit with something like this. You want to stay positive, and I did my best to stay positive for my brother and look strong for him. But there were times where the first week we found out it was very very strong emotional week for us. Of course, we didn't know, it was up in the air. We didn't really know much. The doctors were speculating it was cancer, but no one knew for sure until they could get him in to start testing him for whatever it is. And they wanted to start chemo pretty much like immediately. Surgery was out of the question because what they had told us was if they opened him up to try to remove the cancer, or the tumor, I'm sorry, if they opened him up to try to remove the tumor, there was a chance it could get worse. It could spread, or however it works. And the tumor, it's not inside of his lung, it's sitting on his lung. And the reason why he was having that the chest pain and that shoulder pain was because the tumor, for whatever reason, decided to swell up. And when it swelled up, it started pushing against his heart and his arteries and his veins and all that stuff and all the neurons, whatever. It started pushing against his heart. That's the moral of the story. The tumor started pushing against his heart because it started swelling up. And when it pushed against his heart, that's what was causing that shoulder, or the chest and shoulder pain. Because it was pushing on the arteries and everything, and it was causing pain to be sent through this area, since this is where the tumor is, in the lung area. So that's why he was having that pain, and it was very hard for him to sleep. And we noticed that anytime he was laying down for long periods of time, that's when the pain would start. So I told him, hey, if you start feeling pain, stand up, walk around a little bit, and maybe that'll help. And that did help him. He stood up. Anytime he was feeling pain, he would stand up and he would walk around, and the pain would be gone. So we found a way to kind of mitigate the pain. So doctor said they wanted to start him on the most immediate, I guess you could say the most intensive form of chemo. They want to hit it hard. They want to get it gone. We all want it gone. So the plan at that point is, and what we're still doing now is, he would basically do 5 days of chemo, 2 weeks off. So the first 5 days he was there, he was inpatient. He had a room at the hospital. He was just stuck at the hospital for 5 days because they didn't know how he would react to the chemo. So they wanted to monitor him. So he was there from Tuesday to Sunday. Tuesday to Sunday, he was in the hospital getting chemo every single day, all day long, just nothing but chemo. And we were allowed to go see him. So every day after work, I would come home, I would change, and I would go to the hospital. I would see him, and different family members were coming down from wherever they lived to come see him, and it was nice seeing all of them. It just sucks because of the scenario where we had to see him. We haven't seen them. We see our family a good amount, but you get caught up with life and busy and everything, so you don't see him as much as you want to. But it was nice seeing everyone because they would come down to see him and bring him food and whatever he wanted. So he's basically the king of the family right now, and that's totally fine with me. I want him to be as happy and as comfortable as possible. So the first 5 days of chemo happen. He has minimal side effects from the chemo, and the doctors are telling us that's a really good sign. He's young, he's healthy. Before all this, he worked out. He was a very active person. He's young. He's a young and healthy kid. We're a young, healthy family. So 5 days go by, all the chemo's hitting him, and he's not really having any side effects. And we're kind of curious as to why. And the doctors say, oh, it just takes some time for the chemo to kick in and start, affecting him. So 5 days are over. He comes home, and they're telling us he might, start having the symptoms of chemo once he gets home. And we brought him home, and the side effects were very, very minimal. The only really side effects that I know of that he told me were just some nausea, which is basically one of the most common side effects. Some nausea, he was a little cold, he was a little jittery, and he had chemo brain, which just means he was kind of foggy in the head, and he had a headache, and he was just really foggy up here. And that's pretty much it. That's all the side effects he had. He did start losing his hair, so he shaved his head, and that was rough because he didn't tell me. I came home from work and I walked into his room and he was just bald, and I had to walk away and cry for a minute because I just didn't expect to see that. I knew he would most likely lose his hair, but I just didn't think it would happen that fast. So yeah, that's pretty much what the situation is. That's what's been going on. That's why I didn't upload, and the reason why I'm uploading now is because we're now 3 chemo treatments in. He just finished his 3rd chemo session, I want to say last week, and he's doing really good. He's doing really good. He had his PET scan today, is Sunday, March 19th. He had a PET scan yesterday on the 18th, basically to do a scan of his body and the tumor and see how much it's hopefully shrunk. We don't know yet. We did the PET scan yesterday, but we won't find out the results until I think Monday or Tuesday when he does his FaceTime appointment with his doctor. So yeah, that's pretty much a quick breakdown of what's been going on, where I've been, why I haven't really been uploading. Like I said, when I found out, it's just the last thing on my mind was YouTube and working on my car and putting content out. And even still today, my priority is my brother. Making sure he's okay, getting him whatever he needs, just doing whatever he needs me to do, and he's the type of person where he doesn't like people on him. He doesn't like people constantly asking him questions. So, I try not to smother him too much. As much as I want to, I try not to smother him too much. I try to give him his space. If he needs anything, he knows to call me or text me or ask me if I'm at work, because I'm just 5 minutes down the street. I will gladly leave my job to come take care of him. And yeah, so that's pretty much what's been going on, guys. It sucks, but luckily things are looking up right now. He's been responding very well to the chemo, like I said, because he's young and he's healthy and he's been active. He didn't really have any health issues. He had no health issues, actually. Yeah, so that's pretty much what's been going on and why I've been a little MIA on YouTube, but we'll be back. We have some things planned for the car. In my absence, I installed 2 car parts. Nothing too crazy. It's just a 4th brake light and some carbon fiber fender garnishes. I don't think you can see them, but I had a plan on doing this big old reveal video of, oh, look at this 4th brake light, and oh, look at this new carbon fiber side garnish, and all that. I had a whole vlog planned, but I figured I'd just keep it more real and raw and just kind of sit down in front of the camera and just kind of explain why I've been gone, what's happened. I don't need some crazy vlog with a lot of cuts and edits and transitions, and I don't even know how to do all that stuff. I'm still learning Final Cut Pro on my Mac, so I just wanted to sit down, keep it real and raw with you guys, and just kind of explain what's been going on. We don't have a GoFundMe or anything for him because, like I said, my mom works for a hospital, so we have really good health insurance, so it's pretty much all covered. There's no GoFundMe. If you guys want to do anything, just pray for him. That's it. We are a religious family, whether you believe in it or not. I don't judge you, but yeah, just pray for him. Send him love your way. You know, you can. That's all we ask. You know, and even then, he's doing really good. He was feeling a little sick yesterday. That's because for the PET scan, he wasn't allowed to eat or drink carbs or anything like that. He had to keep basically just water is all he could do. And you know, his blood level tanked because of the chemo and everything. But you know, there's medicine for it that he takes to kind of counteract it, so where he'll feel normal. So you know, hopefully we'll be done with this soon. They're thinking maybe 1 or 2 more chemo sessions, and then maybe a session of radiation to zap the tumor away fully, and then hopefully he'll be in remission and he'll be cancer free. That's the goal. That's what we want. So I would introduce him to the vlog, but I think he's sleeping right now, and I don't think he wants to be on camera. So I'm not gonna, you know, stick a camera in his face or anything like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's an update on what happened in the last few months, what's going on with my brother, and where I've been. We will be back, don't worry. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I got a new lens. It's a Sony 10-20 f4. It's a wider lens, so I can zoom in and out whenever I need to. I was originally using the kit lens that came with the ZV-E10. I think it's a 16-50 mil. With that one, it was just kind of super cropped in on my face, and I don't know, I'm kind of insecure about my face and my my imperfections in my skin. I'm just kind of really insecure about that. So this one, where I can zoom out and it's a lot wider angle, you can kind of see more of the background. It works perfectly for me because it's not so in my face, you know, because I'm an insecure person and I have skin imperfections. So one of the most eye-opening experiences I noticed throughout this whole little brother having cancer thing is when I finally announced it on Instagram. When I finally told everyone what was going on Instagram, you know, I made a post about it on my story. It's crazy because there's people that I've known for years, for a very long time, that, you know, I had always assumed would always have my back and always be there for me no matter what it was. They'd always be that support I needed. A lot of those people were nowhere to be found and still are nowhere to be found. And it's not surprising, but it is very disappointing because I know how people are. And on the flip side of that, there's people I've only met within maybe a year or two, and I've met them because of the car, that are constantly texting me, DMing me, hey, how's your brother? Hey, what's going on? Do you have any updates? You know, are you okay? And I've only known these people for a year or 2 years compared to people I've known for 5, 6, 7 years, and they're MIA, completely gone. No word from them, nothing. And I don't expect it from anyone. I don't expect anyone to, you know, whatever, but it's just kind of crazy to see how that works, to where people you've known for a long time will let you down, but people you've known for a year, maybe 2, are the ones that are constantly checking up on you and seeing how you're doing and are genuinely interested to make sure you are okay and your brother's okay. I don't know. It was just it was a very eye-opening experience to kind of sit back and realize that maybe not as many people have my back and will be there for me as I thought. And it, you know, at this point, it's like, okay, I have to take a step back and really, really look at some of these people and really, you know, think, are they people I really do want in my life? Are they really people I consider friends? If, you know, they aren't here for me when my family's was at its lowest point when we initially found out, you know, are they going to be there when I'm at my highest point? And if they are there at my highest point, do I want them there when they weren't there for me at my lowest? No, not really. It, you know, it's just it's disappointing, you know, but it's not surprising. You know, and that's, like I said, that's probably one of the more interesting, I don't know how to say it, more interesting, I guess, realizations of this whole thing, you know. So those of you who have been constantly checking up on me and texting me and, you know, just asking me about my brother, you know, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it, and I really do love you guys. You guys have really kind of helped me stay sane in this whole situation. So, you know, shout out to you guys. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. It means the world that, you know, I have people I can text or call whenever I'm having a low point, because, you know, maybe my brother wasn't feeling good one day and it just, for whatever reason, affected me really bad because I'm not used to seeing him like that, you know. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for, you know, having my back and just being there and checking up. And yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on. That's pretty much why I've been MIA on YouTube, why I haven't been uploading, and just didn't really have the motivation for it after finding out the stuff about my brother. But we're back. He's doing good, so I'm feeling motivated again. It's funny, I've never really felt this motivated and creative in my life until I got in front of the camera and started editing videos for YouTube. So that's a good sign, I think. We had a little dip there with the motivation, but we're back. He's doing okay, so that means I'm doing okay. And yeah, I don't know what's next for the car. I think the next visual mod I want to do is I want to do the star headliner. I might have someone install that, or I might have my friend do it because he knows how to do it, but we'll see. If you guys want to see something special on the BRZ, or you have an idea of what I could do next, just drop it down below. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this vlog, guys. I will see you guys in the next vlog. Not too sure what it's going to be, but I will look at your comments and we'll see what's next. So peace out, guys. Thank you. Have a good one.